Viertelfinale. Super Ted Evetts. Evetts fordert die aktuelle Nummer 11 der Welt heraus. Ein Mann, der schon 12 PDC-Titel einfahren konnte, der in 5 Major-Finals stand. Und auch heute läuft er auf die Musik der Toten Hosen ein. Hey, hier kommt Alex. Hey, hier kommt Dave Chisnall. Samstagabend gilt die Distanz Best of 11 Legs. Man braucht also 6 Legs, um in das Achtelfinale einzuziehen. Und selbstverständlich heißen wir auch den Caller dieser ersten Partie. Herzlich willkommen, the Puppy George Noble.
Welcome back to the Saarlandhalle in Saarbrücken, Germany for the continuation of the German Darts Open. Round 2 will conclude tonight. We've got 8 games for you featuring 5 men picked in the 9 for the Premier League, as well as 6 more contenders in this year's Premier League. It does include mighty Michael van Gerwen, winner of a 30th European Tour event last weekend. It includes the defending champion here in Saarbrücken, the maximizer Max Hopp, the German #1. And it also includes these two here, Dave Chisnall, a man who has won on the European Tour before. He's picked up a couple of titles already this year. And Ted Evetts, young man making his way in this sport of darts, who made his first ever senior quarter-final last weekend. If he's going to back that up with another quarter-final, not only does he have to beat the man who holds the European Tour record for a highest average in a single game, then he might have to beat the second most successful player ever on the Euro Tour.
First leg, Dave to throw first. Game up.
I'm Dan Dawson talking you through the opening game. It is Ted Evetts against Dave Chisnall, and Paul Nicholson's alongside me.
This is going to be a fantastic session, everybody. Do not move out of your sofa unless you need a cup of tea. Ted Evetts knows all about playing first in the evening session. It's exactly the same position he was in last night when he was playing against Vincent Campos, where he wasn't really tested. He still put in a very impressive display.
Yeah, average just shy of 100. All last weekend he was averaging around about that 97 mark. And if he continues to do that, he is going to continue to win games. That may not be enough against this man, Chizzy, because we know that he's capable of producing those monster averages. But if he does go and play like he's been doing, Ted, he's at least going to make it very hard for Chiz. Best stuff we've seen today has come from Gerwyn Price, Ian White, both topping the ton mark in the averages. Jamie Hughes was close in his 6-4 win against Simon Whitlock. Whitlock, the only seeded player we've seen knocked out, although James Wade was living a very charmed life this afternoon. He survived 6 match darts from Luke Humphreys to scrape through the European champion.
If someone was to ask you, Dan, how would you categorise this afternoon's session, what would you say?
93.
Intriguing. I think there was a lot of very interesting
78.
stuff.
There was a bit of comedy in there.
Yeah, there was actually, yeah. Dave Pallett provided a hilarious moment in his game with Darryl Gurney.
Yeah, a bit of weird and wonderful stuff, but ultimately very entertaining for a Saturday afternoon in Saarbrücken.
96.
We're hoping that we have that same entertainment this evening. It's a rather slow start from these two players, though. Just finding their feet. We tend to find that from Chiz sometimes, that it takes him a leg to find his range, but he did exactly the same last week, but then he went bananas.
Yes, he did. Aaron Monk, 108 average. And that time when he beat Mark Webster 6-0 with 118 average, he started with a 17 darter. So.
Which is only 88 average. Double top.
86.
Yeah, Ted gets a chance.
Ted, you require 80.
Big exhalation. That's good to see that he's breathing. A lot of young players tend to forget to do that. So, single 20. It's a good position. He's got plenty of room over the top. That is a beautiful 80 checker from Super Ted. Great start to this. And he's getting used to this stage, isn't he? After making the quarters last week where he troubled Van Gerwen. And I think Ted Evetts is making strides this year. And we do say that about some young players. When they constantly make European tours, it's hard to get here. But now we're starting to see some consistency from Super Ted.
Yeah, well, he's back on the tour this year after a year off last year, and already Evetts has picked up
96.
13 grand. He's up to number 82 in the world. Obviously, there's more to come here this weekend. And your first target is getting the top 64, and he's already taken a big step towards that.
One of the things that might help him is that last week he got £5,000 for making the quarterfinals, which is probably a third of the way to getting to Göttingen in the European Championships. You may need 15,000 to get in the top 32 from the European Tour events. So that's a good start, and he's got 2,000 minimum here, so he's definitely marching towards Göttingen.
Yeah, we won't be seeing him in Graz or in Sindelfingen, so this is the last we'll see of Ted on the Euro Tour for a little while at least. I'm not sure what his plans are midweek. We've got two Players' Championship events in Barnsley on Tuesday and Wednesday. I would expect him to be there.
He's going there.
He is he?
Yeah. Had a bit of lunch with Ted on the way out. He was at the same airport as me, on the same flight, so we had a bit of a chin wag, talking about a few bits and bobs.
98.
And you could see from his walk-on as well, he loves that West Virginia song and gets the crowd involved. He's really into it now.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not a song I'd be listening to at home by choice, but as a walk-on, it works.
It does.
Everybody knows it. You can sing along to it. Thankfully decided not to do any of the flossing that his mate Dawson Murchell has done when he's featured in big stage games.
Well, we were having a little throw in the break, weren't we, between sessions? And he came clean, did Ted. He said, that was my idea. So he put Dawson Murchell up to that. So I have to watch the World Cup to see what else he puts him up to, but he's putting himself up to a 2-0 lead here, potentially. Chisnall hasn't found his scoring yet, and he's going to have to find it soon.
Well, make hay while the sun shines, Ted. That's exactly what he's doing.
The leg day to throw first.
None of those lazy darts from Ted, no rushing. Every dart's getting the same amount of attention. That's when I think he plays his most consistent stuff.
I talked to him about that very topic, and his mum, who was with Ted this weekend, said she talked to Ted about that till she was blue in the face. Said, just keep that same rhythm. And his reply was, but when I do it faster, it's so much more tempting. I feel like I can score a lot heavier. And my reply to him was, well, results don't lie. When you've got that beautiful rhythm, you made the quarterfinals and you troubled the world #1. These things don't just happen, you know.
Yeah, well, look. Listen to your mother, Ted.
What's Chisnall got to do to get into this match? Well, he's got to score more 140s, that's for sure.
But not now.
No.
Although it doesn't really matter. Ted can't get to a finish. You can go wherever you like here, can't you, really?
Still wants to run 3-3.
95.
Too many of those one treble visits. There's Ted's mum on the left with the glasses.
Chizzy's manager, Rog, sat on the other side of the table. He was involved in a bit of good-natured banter with Mensor's lad last week during their game. Looked like Rog was getting the better of it, and then Mensor just stole the win away, and Tariq had the last laugh.
That was quite amusing. Happened the week previous as well with Josh Payne, didn't it? Well, actually, that was in Munich as well, the previous match, when Josh Payne's other half, Sally, was having a bit of banter with Tariq.
Yeah, it did take a very, very strong comeback from Mensur Suljovic to stop Dave Chisnall last weekend, and Chizzy went out despite playing some really good stuff, and he's been playing good stuff all the way through this year.
140.
I think he's going to be very difficult to stop if he gets going.
57 first. 60 now. Ooh, that was close. And there's that one dart, that continuation dart with no aim on it.
And it's gone nowhere near its intended target. Listen to your mother, Ted.
Now you're ruining it, aren't you, Ted?
If
you'd have paid a bit more attention to that last dart, you may be sitting on an easier shot. It may be academic. However, he's got 2 at double 16 to make Chisnall pay.
He did not expect to get that chance.
8.
But he did not take it when it presented itself. This is going to be nowhere near the 13. But they're not very close to the required doubles either.
8.
Chizzy is having a bad day at the office.
It really is, because this is for a double break.
He's not comfortable over it. And when you realise that, it's a good chance for you to step back and think it's your first start all over again.
4.
More chances missed.
You require 4.
Oh dear. Is Chizzy having one of those days? He might be, you know. You don't see them very often nowadays, but he always used to have a game somewhere along the line where the doubles are just, it's like they didn't exist.
Pub game, both on double one.
Okay.
2.
You know when I said we got 5 Premier League stars and 6 Premier League contenders, it's high quality all the way through.
And both have hit 9 daughters this year.
Yeah.
They're human.
There we go! Ironic cheers from the Saarbrücken crowd. Hey, leg's a leg. Good as a 9-darter, that, so you don't get a badge for it.
Well, that's what we used to say on tour, you know, about the Championship League of Darts, where in the league phase, if you won a leg, you get 50 quid. We used to joke about having the odd bad leg. You know, you'd win one in the odd 24 darts if
57.
both players threw poorly. And then you'd get someone who threw a 9. Well, it's still 50 quid.
Still 50 quid.
$140.
Championship League. That was an odd old tournament, wasn't it?
I loved it.
A strange old tournament, the Championship League.
It was brilliant. It was on in the autumn as well. So you'd play... If you stayed in the league phase and you weren't promoted or you weren't relegated or eliminated, you could find yourself playing a lot of darts. I think myself and Kim Hybrex, we played each other every day for about 2 weeks. We played in Ireland, and then we went to Crondon Park, and went back to Ireland for Killarney, and then back to Crondon Park. It was just a mad couple of weeks.
96.
Chisnall looking for that 3rd title of the year. And the bigger the gap that he gets between his last title and the next one, the more he will doubt that he'll get there. He needs to keep that winning mentality going. He did have the audacity to say that he was going to win something like 15 titles this year. Well, if he gets to double figures, I will tip my hat, because there's not many players who've done that in history. I think there's only 3, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
60.
Phil Taylor, Michael Van Gerwen and Peter Snakebite Wright.
What's she dressed as? It's either a dressing gown from the Los Angeles Lakers,
78.
some sort of university graduation uniform, or she's dressed as a Disney character.
I don't have the answer, but I mean, that's quite a wide spectrum you've picked there.
100. If you require
Maybe it's the Dave Chisnall away kit.
57 scored.
45 left. 2 16s.
70.
Just a width of the wire away. And Ted Evetts, to keep that 2-leg gap that he created after the first 2 legs, needs 2 dots down the middle. 60 now.
94.
That's the dart. When he hits it, he thinks that it's a good one. It might creep into his game.
Well, that's it. And well, there we go. I just thought for a moment that Chizzy might be embarking on a long and arduous route to double 1 again, but double 4 means that we've got a level game. That was a break of throw. But you're right, those sort of slightly rushed, no aiming darts, sometimes they're going to go in. He's a quality player, Ted. He can do it.
100.
But they're not going to go in as regularly, in my opinion.
No, you know what? The reason I say it so much is because it crept into my game.
Oh, really?
And it worked a lot. But then it led to a loss of technique and a loss of rhythm. And it affected my form long term. That's the way to warm up a game, isn't it? 6 consecutive 60s.
Well, it's taken us a little while, but we do have our first 180s. And once Chizzy starts, Chizzy might not stop. But Ted Evetts... Oh.
Well, he is in the silver medal position when it comes to the amount of 9 darters in 2019, considering MVG's got 3. Ted has 2, alongside Richie Edhouse. Chizzy's got 1. He's also got 2 180s in this leg. That's feast or famine in this match, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, the averages are in the low 80s, but that's mainly because they keep missing doubles. Chizzy's already missed 11 in this one. Will he miss another here? Oh, no he won't. That's an 11 darter, and Dave Chisnall goes into the lead for the first time in this one.
And that reacted a bit like one of those Peter Wright spring darts, didn't it? Had a bit of life about it when it hit the inside wire of that double 16.
But it's stuck.
100.
The value of getting your points right, isn't it?
Yeah, Chizzy doesn't change much about his kit. He's had this gold set of standard straight barrel darts for quite some time.
There's a few other pros in the world, actually, who or former pros who use Chizzy darts and who are a big admirer of those particular set. They're not particularly flashy or anything. Oh, here we go. These could get quite flashy now. If these two start going at it.
I remember going back to Australia for the World Series when we had the Sydney Masters.